Welcome to the channel, dear students. So in this video we will be continuing with the remaining questions. So I recommend strongly that before watching this video, kindly watch part 1 and part 2 of functions, which you can find in the functions playlist. So yes, without wasting much time, हम क्वेश्चंस शुरू करते हैं तुरंत. तो पहला क्वेश्चन वो बोल रहे हैं कि लेट f be a function such that 3 times f of x plus 2 times f of m by 19 minus x. अच्छा, ये m क्या है देखेंगे. That is equals to 5x. अच्छा, x is not equal to 0 of course because x is in the denominator and where m is summation I equals to 1 to 9 I square. ठीक है. तो पहले तो हम क्वेश्चन में प्रोसीड करने के लिए हमें m का वैल्यू चाहिए क्योंकि वो f of 5 माइनस f of 2 पूछ रहा है. तो व्हाट इज m? m इज नथिंग बट समेशन i इक्वल्स टू 1 to 9 I स्क्वायर. अच्छा, तो ये क्या हो गया 1 स्क्वायर प्लस 2 स्क्वायर एंड सो ऑन टिल 9 स्क्वायर. So we know that sigma n square is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 divided by 6. So here the number of terms are 9, so we get 9 into 10 into 2 into 9 is 18, 18 plus 1 is 19 divided by 6. So 3 times 3, 3 times 2 and I think 2 times 5. So we get 15 into 19. Yeah, I don't think we need to calculate this value because we need m by 19. So m by 19 should be equals to 15. So ultimately we have 3 times f of x plus 2 times f of m by 19 should be 15. So 15 divided by x is equals to 5x. So dear students, यहाँ से तो सबको पता ही होगा क्या करना है. हमें x को 15 by x से पहले रिप्लेस करना है. तो क्या आएगा भाई 3 times f of 15 divided by x plus 2 times f of, अच्छा x को 15 by x रिप्लेस करेंगे तो 15 divided by 15 by x, ये क्या आएगा भाई x आएगा ना. तो यहाँ पे तो हम x लिखेंगे. सो दैट इज इक्वल्स टू 5 into 15 डिवाइडेड बाई x. तो हमें ये दो इक्वेशंस को सॉल्व करना है टू फाइंड द वैल्यू ऑफ f ऑफ x. सो हम क्या करेंगे, पहले तो हम फर्स्ट इक्वेशन को, ये जो फर्स्ट इक्वेशन है इसको हम 3 से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे ताकि इसको हम 6 बनाएं एंड सेकंड इक्वेशन जो है उसको हम 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे. तो फर्स्ट इक्वेशन मल्टीप्लाइड विद 3. सो व्हाट डज दैट गिव अस? सो इट गिव्स 9 टाइम्स f ऑफ x प्लस 6 टाइम्स f ऑफ 15 डिवाइडेड बाई x is equals to 3 into 5 is 15x. एंड सेकंड इक्वेशन को हम मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे, हम किससे मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे, 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे. तो हमें क्या आएगा भाई, तो हमें आएगा 6 टाइम्स f ऑफ 15 डिवाइडेड बाई x प्लस 2 into 2 is 4. 4 times f of x is equals to 5 into 15 is 75. 75 into 2 should be 150 divided by x. So अभी हम इस इक्वेशंस को आराम से सब्ट्रैक्ट कर सकते हैं. तो ये और ये कट गया तो 9 minus 4 is 5 times f of x. That should be equal to 15x minus 150 divided by x. 5 times f of x is equals to 15x minus 150 divided by x. So f of x should be 15 divided by 5 should be 3 and 150 divided by 5. So 5, I think this should be 5, 3, yeah. So 30 divided by x. So yes. So it should be 3x minus 30 divided by x. Now we want to find the value of f of 5. f of 5 should be 3 into 5 should be 15 and 30 divided by 5 should be 6. I think 15 minus 6 is 9 and f of 2 is 3 into 2 is 6. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So we have 6 minus 15 as minus 9. What is he asking? F of f5 minus f of 2. That means 9 minus of minus 9 should be 18 and 18 is the first option. This is the correct answer. So let us go to the next question. So the first question was very simple. Let us see the next question. Next question says, he has given g of x is equals to 3x square plus 2x minus 3. That means g of x is a quadratic, okay. And then f of 0 is equals to minus 3. Let us see if this is useful anywhere. And then we have 4 times g of f of x is equals to g of f of x. That means this is a composite function. I'm sorry, this is a composite function which is 3x square minus 32x plus 72. Then we need to find the value of f of g of 2, okay, f of g of 2. So I think firstly we will find g of 2. G of 2 should be 3 into 4 is 12 plus 2 into 2 is 4 minus 3. So 12 plus 1 I think is 13. So we need to find the value of f of 13. Acha, to find this value we need to find f of x firstly, okay. So let us see what can be done. F of 0 is minus 3 is given in the question, okay. And we know that g of x is a quadratic function, okay. Now yeah, and we have g of f of x. I think from this part g of f of x, if I divide with 4 on both sides, we get 3 divided by 4 x square. 32 को 4 से डिवाइड किया हमें आएगा 8x. 72 को 4 से डिवाइड किया तो 4, I think we get 4 1, yeah, and then 18 यस. So 7 18 into 4 is 72. परफेक्ट. तो अभी हम एक बात इधर नोटिस करें तो ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ अभी हम समझने वाले हैं कि देखो g ऑफ x तो है क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन, g ऑफ x तो है क्वाड्रेटिक, तो f ऑफ x को क्या होना पड़ेगा, f ऑफ x को क्या होने पड़ेगा. मान लो अगर f ऑफ x एक कांस्टेंट फंक्शन है, f ऑफ x अगर एक कांस्टेंट फंक्शन है, f ऑफ x अगर एक कांस्टेंट फंक्शन है तो ठीक है. पहले तो ये देखते हैं इस इक्वेशन, तो g ऑफ x जो है उसमें हम लिखेंगे 3x² प्लस 2x माइनस 3. तो इधर हम पहले रिप्लेस करते हैं x को f ऑफ x से. तो क्या आएगा भाई, g ऑफ f ऑफ x क्या आएगा, हमें आएगा 3 टाइम्स f ऑफ x होल स्क्वायर प्लस 2 टाइम्स f ऑफ x माइनस 3. अभी नोटिस करो तो g ऑफ f ऑफ x भी जो है ये भी एक क्वाड्रेटिक फंक्शन है भाई. g ऑफ f ऑफ x भी एक क्वाड्रेटिक फंक्शन है, ठीक है ना. तो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड एक क्वाड्रेटिक है, राइट हैंड साइड भी एक क्वाड्रेटिक होना चाहिए, दो इक्वेशंस को मतलब दो क्वांटिटीज को इक्वल होने के लिए. तो अगर राइट हैंड साइड क्वाड्रेटिक होना है तो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड तो क्वाड्रेटिक है ना भाई, क्योंकि g ऑफ f ऑफ x क्वाड्रेटिक है, राइट हैंड साइड भी क्वाड्रेटिक होना है. तो मान लो अगर f ऑफ x कांस्टेंट निकला तो यहाँ पे तो एक कांस्टेंट आएगा ये वाला, एंड ये भी कांस्टेंट आएगा, ये भी कांस्टेंट आएगा, तो क्वाड्रेटिक तो कांस्टेंट तो हो ही नहीं सकता. एंड मान लो अगर f ऑफ x लीनियर हुआ, मान लो अगर f ऑफ x लीनियर हुआ तो ये वाला जो टर्म है ये क्वाड्रेटिक बनेगा एंड ये वाला लीनियर बनेगा. लीनियर और क्वाड्रेटिक मिलेंगे तो क्वाड्रेटिक डिग्री तो इफेक्टिव क्वाड्रेटिक ही रहेगा. तो ठीक है, अगर f ऑफ x लीनियर होने की संभावना है. अगर f ऑफ x क्वाड्रेटिक हुआ तो यहाँ पे तो मान लो अगर f ऑफ x x² प्लस 1 हुआ तो x² प्लस 1 होल स्क्वायर, तो x पावर 4 का टर्म आएगा तो वो तो बाई क्वाड्रेटिक हो जाएगा. मतलब f ऑफ x को तो लीनियर ही होना पड़ेगा और कोई रास्ता ही नहीं है. सो दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ऑब्जर्वेशन डियर स्टूडेंट्स. f ऑफ x शुड बी अ लीनियर फंक्शन, सो लेट अस टेक इट एज ax plus b. That means f of 0 is minus 3, so let us replace x with 0, so we get b. So minus 3 is equals to b. That means f of x is basically f of x is ax minus 3. So now left hand side is g of f of x. Let us solve this equation. G of f of x is 3 divided by 4 x square minus 8x plus 18 is equals to 3 times f of x should be ax minus 3 whole square plus 2 times f of x again should be ax minus 3, and here we have minus 3. So let us solve the right hand side. We get 3 times a square x square, if I expand this, plus 9, 2 into 3 6 ax plus 2ax minus 6 minus 3. So we ultimately get 3 a square x square, and 3 into minus 6 is minus 18, minus 18 plus 2 should be minus 16 ax, and then we have 3 into 9 is 27, 27 minus 9 I think is plus 18. So now these two equations, see this is an identity, right? So this is an identity, this is true for any value of x, right? That means here this is also an identity. That means the corresponding terms should be equal. That means coefficient of x square on the left hand side is 3 by 4 and on the right hand side is 3a square. That means a square is 1 by 4. That means a is equals to plus or minus 1 by 2. But it should also satisfy the second term. So second term is minus 8 is equals to minus 16, right? Comparing the coefficient of x on both sides, a is equals to minus 8 by minus 16 is 1 by 2. That means the value of a is 1 by 2, right? The value of a is 1 by 2. That means therefore f of x should be ax plus b. F of x is ax plus b, that is ax minus 3. That means x by 2 minus 3, x by 2 minus 3. And what do we want? We want the value of f of 13, right? F of 13. So f of 13 should be 13 divided by 2 minus 3. So 13 minus 6. 13 minus 6 is 7. 7 divided by 2 should be the answer. Let us see if it is an option. Yes, indeed, that is the correct answer. Option 3 we have, yes, 7 by 2 should be the correct answer. Now let us go to the next question. Next question says, this is a statement based question. So rarely mains is also asking statement type of questions. So the statement 1 says that the function f maps R to R defined by f of x is equals to x by 1 plus mod x, okay, mod x is 1 to 1. Acha, 1 to 1. And statement 2 says the function f maps R to R defined by f of x is equals to quadratic by quadratic is many to 1, okay. Now I think we have, I think they are asking us to check whether the statements are true or false, right? So let us see. See, we have multiple methods to solve these kind of questions. As of now, what I can think of statement 1. See, if when is a function 1 to 1, if f of x1 equals to f of x2, then x1 should be equals to x2, right? This is the definition of 1 to 1, right? Another way of defining a 1 to 1 function is if the derivative is either greater than or equal to 0 or less than or equal to 0. Mean to say, if the function is strictly increasing or strictly decreasing, then also we can say that the function is 1 to 1, or if no two inputs have the same output, right? If no two inputs have the same output, or two different inputs have two different outputs, then we can say function is 1 to 1. So in this statement 1, let us try solving the question in this way, right? Now, because mod x is there, we will take case 1, that if x is greater than or equal to 0, then what is f of x? F of x should be x by 1 minus x. So here we can either differentiate this function, but I want to proceed in this way. Students, you can try even with differentiating. So anyways, f of x1 is equals to x1 by 1 minus x1. Now f of x2 should be x2 divided by 1 minus x2, right? Now let us equate f of x1 and f of x2. So we get x1 by 1 minus x1 equals to x2 divided by 1 minus x2. If I cross multiply, I get x1 minus x1 x2 is equals to x2 minus x1 x2. So these two terms gets cancelled. We get x1 equals to x2. So if x is positive, we get we can notice that the function is 1 to 1. Case 2 is if x is negative. So then f of x should be x by I'm sorry, case 1, see I have taken 1 minus ना, तो इसको अपन क्या करते हैं, x less than 0 कर लेते हैं. Case 2 अपन लेते हैं क्योंकि हमने mod x को minus x लिया ना, so mod x is equals to minus x if x is negative, I'm sorry. Case 2 if x is greater than or equal to 0, that means it should be 1 plus x, okay? So kindly make the changes, dear students. f of x1 is equals to f of x2 बोल रहा है भाई, मतलब x1 by 1 plus x1 is equals to x2 by 1 plus x2. If I cross multiply, x1 plus x1 x2 should be equals to x2 plus x1 x2. So here also we are getting a similar result that x1 is equals to x2. That means this is true if x is negative and this is true if x is positive. Either ways we are if the outputs are equal, then the inputs must be equal, right? That means it should be a 1 to 1 function, and what is it telling? The function is 1 to 1. This is a true statement, right? This is a true statement, no doubt about that. This is a true statement, okay? Now statement 2 says this function f of x is equals to x square plus 4x minus 30 divided by x square minus 8x plus 18 is many to 1, right? Many to 1. So statement 2, what do we have? F of x is equals to x square plus 4x minus 30 divided by x square minus 8x plus 18, right? So this statement also we can solve in multiple ways. Either we can now try writing f of x1 equals to f of x2, but see the complexity, we may have to multiply quadratic equations, so let us not proceed in that way. And the other way could be, you know, if I can differentiate, even differentiation also would be fine. If you can say that you will get a strictly increasing or a strictly decreasing function, then the function must be 1 to 1. But let us proceed in a different way. Okay, let us find the value of f of 0. What will f of 0 be? Minus 13 by 18, which is minus so this should be 6 times 5, 6 times 3. Now why 0? Okay, probably you may ask, why am I replacing x with 0? I can replace x with any number as such, because input set contains all real numbers. But I think f of 0 calculation is very easy, so I'm trying with that. I'm just checking. So x square plus 4x minus 30 divided by x square minus 8x plus 18. I'm just equating this to minus 5 by 3 because this is one of the outputs now. And let me check if we get minus 5 by 3 for any other value other than 0, right? So that means, how do we know that? Let us cross multiply. 3x square plus 3 into 4 is 12. 30 into 3 should be 90. Yeah, so we get minus 5x square on the right hand side, minus 8 into minus 5 should be plus 40, and 18 into minus 5 is minus 90. So we can easily cancel this. So we get 8x square, and 40 minus 12 minus 40 should be minus 28x. So that means either if I take x common, or if I take 4x common, then I get 2x here and 7 here. That means either x equals to 0 or 7 by 2. Luckily, with f of 0 only we found out that f of 7 by 2 also is minus 5 by 3. That means it should be a many to 1 function, because f of 0 is minus 5 by 3 and f of 7 by 2 also is minus 5 by 3. Now you may ask, sir, what if we get only one value of x here? Then we may try with some other value, and let us say again we get one more value only. Then I would suggest you to go with differentiation, right? Let us not waste our time. But luckily here we got two different values of x for the same outputs. That means this should be many to 1 function, and statement 2 also is telling it is many to 1. That means it is true. So both statement 1 and statement 2 are true, right? So that means 1 should be the correct answer. Now let us go with the next question. The sum of all elements in the range of f of x, signum of sin x plus signum of cos x plus signum of tan x plus signum of cot x Yeah, I think it is meaningful to say x is not equal to n pi by 2 because then tan x and cot x are not defined, right, in the domain, and n belongs to integers, and signum of t is 1 if t is positive and signum of t is minus 1 if t is negative, right? Now how do we solve this kind of question, right? So one thing which strikes me is, since x is not equal to n pi by 2, let us say 0 less than x less than pi by 2, possible? Let us say x belongs to quadrant 1, then what do we get f of x as? Sin x in the first quadrant. Actually all of these trigonometric ratios in the first quadrant are positive, and for signum if t is positive, then we get the output as 1. That means 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So we directly get 4. Now, I hope you understood this, no? Because if sin x in the first quadrant, all the trigonometric ratios are positive, whatever may be the value of sin x, it will be positive. And signum of positive will be 1 and signum of negative will be minus 1. Yeah, just remember this. Now if now this is, what if x is in quadrant 2? That means pi by 2 less than x less than pi, right? X belongs to quadrant 2. Now you should say that in second quadrant sin x is still positive. That means this will be 1, and second quadrant cos x is negative, so we get a minus 1 here. And second quadrant tan x is negative, we get again a minus 1, and second quadrant cot x is negative, we get again a minus 1. So ultimately we get the output as minus 2. And what if x belongs to quadrant 3? That means pi less than x less than 3 pi by 2, right? X belongs to quadrant 3, right? So f of x again, I think should be, in quadrant 3 sin x is negative, right? Sin x is negative, so we get a minus 1. Quadrant 3 cos x is negative, we get a minus 1. Tan x is positive, cot x is positive. I think we get this output as 0. And now if x belongs to quadrant 4, so we say 3 pi by 2 less than x less than 2 pi. तो यहाँ पे क्या आएगा भाई आउटपुट? यहाँ पे तो आउटपुट क्या आएगा? तो अगर क्वाड्रेंट 4 में है तो साइन एक्स तो नेगेटिव हो गया, तो ये तो माइनस 1 आएगा भाई, एंड कॉस एक्स पॉजिटिव हो जाएगा, ठीक है, एंड टैन एक्स नेगेटिव होगा, कॉट एक्स भी नेगेटिव होगा, तो यहाँ पे तो आंसर आ रहा है -2. तो अगर हम वापस एक्स क्वाड्रेंट 1 में लेंगे तो आउटपुट तो यही आएगा. तो बेसिकली इसका रेंज जो है, इसका रेंज में क्या क्या एलिमेंट्स है भाई? रेंज में है 4 एंड फिर -2 भी है भाई, एंड फिर 0 भी है. -2 को वापस नहीं लिखना है क्योंकि ऑलरेडी हमने लिख दिया है. तो व्हाट इज ही आस्किंग इन द क्वेश्चन? द सम ऑफ ऑल एलिमेंट्स इन द रेंज. सम ऑफ ऑल एलिमेंट्स इन द रेंज शुड बी 4 -2 is 2, 2 plus 0 is 2. So I think 2 should be the correct answer. Yes, that is option 1. That's it. So thank you dear students for your kind attention. Meet you with the next one. And before I conclude, if you have any other methods of solving these questions, please do comment your methods in the comment section. I'll be replying for that. Thank you once again. Meet you with the next one.